Welcome back, everyone. So I got chatting to, actually I was on the phone to everyone else at Motor Addicts, and Tim happened to say, well, I was the guy that built it, and it dawned on me that I need to speak to this guy, so I'm really sorry to just drag you out of what you're doing, you know, but the car is absolutely stunning. I mean, top to bottom, you started out with a factory DeLorean.
I did, yeah.
How many labor hours do you think are in the car?
Car took probably about 7 months to build. 8 months.
Long, is it?
No, not too bad.
And have you got a whole team of people, or was it just yourself?
There was about 2 or 3 of us that built the car.
Yeah.
I did the bulk of the fabrication. Most of the metal work, all the fab I did. My buddy Tyler from Fortune Auto Design in Canada did the wide body kit.
Yeah.
And Kaiser Salim did all the design work for the body kit.
It's stunning.
So he made the rendering, then Tyler 3D printed the kit, made everything so I could bolt it on the car. And then we used Skoll SK17 3-piece wheels, airlift performance shocks, and then everything in the back. I just kind of went nuts with a TIG welder and
you've done a fantastic job as well. Talking about going nuts with the TIG welder, you'll see some shots of the motor in a moment. But so this isn't a DeLorean, Volvo, Peugeot sort of thing. That got
tossed immediately. Yeah.
So what have we got in the back here?
Yeah, so we have a 5.3 liter LF. So this would come standard in like a Suburban or a Tahoe, something like that. So it's a smaller displacement engine, and it's got individual throttle bodies with billet plenums, all titanium cold side and hot side from Vibrant Performance. And we got twin Garrett G30 marriage turbos out back underneath the back bumper.
What sort of power is the motor making?
Estimated probably between 600 or 700 horsepower.
And that's what sort of boost?
On low boost, probably 7 pounds.
Oh, okay, so that's nothing really.
It's nothing, yeah.
Really effortless.
This is what they call a junkyard race build. A lot of guys use the 5.3s in the States, and they'll just throw as much boost at it as they want, and they're making 1,000 horsepower.
And the motor's widely available because it comes in ambulances to shopping carts, you know, and everything in between.
Originally, I planned to use the GTR engine, a VR38.
Yep.
But with time and just the price of the motors right now, it just wasn't feasible.
Yeah.
So I decided if I'm going to do an LS, I'm not going to keep that ugly plastic intake manifold.
Yeah.
And when we did the Ferrari F40 style rear deck lid,
I see.
That's why we went with the individual throttle bodies.
I see.
Everything's mechanical. It's 80s. It's like IMSA.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I love the fact that it's not. There is some billet in there, but it's not overly futuristic, and it matches the kind of era of the car. It's very foxy, and you can see all the welds. None of that's been cleaned off.
Yep.
Are you satisfied with the build? I mean, it's absolutely stunning to look at.
I really like it a lot. I mean, I envision when me and Kaiser first started talking about doing the wide body kit, we were like, what if DeLorean went racing in the 80s in the IMSA series?
What would they do?
What would they do? What would it look like? And I actually found an original rendering that they did where they proposed to John back in '83 before the company went under, and it looked something similar to this, but they would have used a V6 twin turbo. So we kind of used that as an inspiration.
Yeah.
As like a blank canvas of a what-if car. That's just kind of what we came up with.
Last question, because I don't take so much of your time, but
okay.
if there was something you would change about how the car's finished up, is there anything you think, I wish we'd have done that, or I'm going to do this next time round?
The chassis is definitely the weak point. It's got a Lotus Elise chassis, the Esprit, I'm sorry. So it's an I-beam chassis, it doesn't have frame rails, and with the I-beam chassis, there's a ton of flex.
Because of the power that's there.
You're right, and it's all sheet metal. These cars were built very cheap and very inexpensive back in the 80s in Ireland.
Yeah.
So, they really couldn't go crazy on the chassis development and all that stuff. So to develop a brand new chassis for the car would be something that I wanted to do and I'm planning to do in the future.
And the drivability would improve as a result.
Drastically.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know more about the car, Osiri Autocraft is my company, and we actually plan to develop more of these in the future for customers. Wow. Maybe not this wild, but we also have other versions where it's just kind of an original DeLorean with modern drivetrain and stuff like that. Just all the way up to this crazy.
When I saw it, and the more I looked at it, I was like, it's just, out of everything here so far, it's my favourite car.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you so much for your time, mate. Thanks for taking the time out. There's something different for you. Who knew that when you leave the show is actually one of the most interesting parts of the show, because all the cool stuff turns up. We've turned up at the gas station on the way out. Look at some of the stuff that's here. It's insane. That's right, a diesel Gallardo. As if it could get any weirder.